welcome to Shrubby Buddies Podcast, where we talk all things horticulture right from the heart of Zone 6B. So grab a drink, step into the garden, and grow with us as we talk plants, tools, tips, tricks, with a healthy dose of comedy and banter. Whether you're crushing into the landscape or just trying to keep the one plant alive, we've got you covered. And as always, love you harder plus 2. Hey, Shrubby Buddies, and welcome to the podcast. Welcome back to the podcast. I am Matty C, joined with Timmy D. Tim, how are you?
What's up, brother?
What's up?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Real good.
Yeah, me too.
Good.
What's going on with you?
Hey, you know what I was going to tell you?
What were you going to tell me?
Those morels
Yeah?
that I/you found.
Okay.
I made a morel cream sauce
Yeah, he sent me a picture
with
of it
those.
on the pasta.
I just sauteed those bad boys till they were releasing all their flavor, and then let them just like bathe in a traditional cream sauce for a while,
That sounds really good.
and then added some pasta to it, and that was really good.
It sounds really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that might be my new, go-to with the
Okay.
morels, cooking the morels.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
just saying.
Very good.
Yeah.
What's been going on with you other than the morel creamy mushroom sauce?
Are you wearing socks?
I am wearing socks. Are
Oh.
you wearing socks?
Yeah, I'm wearing socks.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Just making sure. It'd be weird if you weren't.
Yeah. All right. I guess so.
Yeah. What's going on with me? I don't know. Nothing really. Nothing
No.
new since we last talked.
Yeah. Just busy spring stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need, it's crazy to say here we are in April and I'm thinking like we need rain.
We do.
Right?
Also because I just don't feel like watering the things that I've put in the ground and in pots right now.
True, but like it's kind of dry.
It is.
It's
real
kind of dry out right now for April, you know.
It's real dry. And then,
April showers bring May flowers, but we ain't had no rain.
no, we haven't. But they have up north.
Dude, Michigan right now is
Mhm.
like,
And like Cleveland even.
yeah.
They've had a lot of rain.
Well, I'm talking like northern Michigan
Yeah.
right now. Have you heard about that?
Are they
So the Sheboygan River, I don't know, I guess it's the Sheboygan River. In Sheboygan, the dam that's there is like 6 inches from being breached
oh my.
by water.
Oh no.
And they're saying like if it breaches, obviously they have these evacuation plans in place and they're already like trying to get people out of there, but they're saying that it could drop water levels in the Sheboygan River watershed by like 20 feet in some areas, which obviously a dam failing, there's loss of property, which is devastating, hopefully no loss of life, but they're saying the ecological damage that it would do,
Okay.
really sad.
Yeah.
Really sad stuff up there.
Yeah.
M119 tunnel of trees, like north out of Harbor Springs up to the Mackinac State Park, I guess, or Mackinac Wilderness area. I forget what it's called. Anyways, the M119 tunnel of trees, like early this morning, like sections of road washed out. And yeah.
Bummer.
So
Well, I didn't know about any of that.
I got a tickle on the old stash right now.
Do you?
Yeah, a little stash tickle.
It's a good stash. Guys got a good stash. So
I try.
I aspire
I
to have a
try.
stash like that someday.
You could have one, but you trim yours up so much.
I
Because
just-
you don't want your tongue touching
I
it
don't
and
like
stuff.
eating on it.
Yeah, I like eating on it. I like eating on the stash.
So sometimes you get one of these right up in here that goes this way and it tickles my
Oh,
nose too
dude,
much.
those are the worst, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's just, it's spring. Spring's
Mm-hmm.
here. Busy, busy, busy. It's all hitting at once.
I know it's mid-April.
I know.
The weeds are growing.
Weeds are growing. Flowers are growing. Trees are starting to unfurl their leaves, their
Mhm.
goodness.
Yep.
So, speaking of trees. Oh, wait.
Wait,
My song.
what song?
My song for the playlist.
Oh,
So
good.
this week's song for the playlist will be Andrew Montana. The song title is Silverfish.
Andrew Montana, Silverfish.
Yeah, you said,
Is it a
what you feeling? And if you were going to eat a song tonight for dinner, what would it be? And Silverfish just popped into my head by Andrew Montana. So
I did say that.
You did.
Is it? I'm not real that familiar with the song. Is it have to do with the creepy crawly that's in the house, the silverfish
No,
that likes moist areas and like between book pages and stuff?
I don't think so. You should just have to give it a listen.
Okay,
You
I'll
know,
give it a listen.
So, but yeah, back to we were talking about trees and how they're unfurling their goodness. And, that got me in the mood to like talk about trees on this episode. And I really want to talk about trees. And
Me too.
Working in the garden center, always getting people that are like, how do I plant my tree? How do I plant my tree what do I need to do for my tree? What are the do's and don'ts? And I just thought like you and I are both certified arborists, tree nerds.
Mm-hmm.
Both, I think, really got our start in horticulture with trees.
I think that
right?
was our first loves.
Yeah,
in
trees,
horticulture
for sure. So
there was a time.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've shared this before and I'll share it again, where trees were the only thing you cared about.
I mean, that's not true.
And you would say something like, "Who cares about these stupid little
get out of
dainty
here.
flowers on the forest floor? It's all about the trees."
All right.
And you've since changed your tune.
I mean, you're
happened.
over exaggerating just a little bit on that.
Maybe not.
Maybe just a little bit. But I will say that my first love was with trees, and I still
Me too.
find a ton of value in trees, right? Just what they do for us on so many levels, like our day-to-day lives, and the studies that's come out on trees, and how good they are for your health. Not just how they clean the air and they produce oxygen for us, but how just the shade and just trees, like street trees lining streets, mature ones, it reduces heart disease. I mean, they've done studies on it.
They have. It's linked to just areas with more trees, just linked to better health with the individuals that live there. Areas with more trees are linked to lower crime rates.
Yeah.
Areas with a lot of trees are linked to the dampening of sounds and things.
Yeah.
So there's so many more benefits other than the whole. They provide oxygen, which is wonderful.
Yeah, they provide oxygen. Their carbon tanks, they just collect and sequester the carbon and store it in the tree and in the roots and in the ground. And that's a great. We're always talking about like, oh, what's the best way that we could filter carbon out of the atmosphere? Because we're just producing carbon at an extreme rate, and it's causing climate change and global warming and all of that stuff. Whoa, I know, big words there, right? And so they try and find these machines that can do it when, it's trees. Trees are the machines. Like, hella.
Hashtag trees, please.
Yeah, just plant a shitload of trees.
Mm-hmm.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
Oh, and, maybe cut back on the extreme use of fossil fuels. But
yeah, that's another topic for another day.
Sorry.
Also, who else really likes trees?
Jerry Fleischer.
Yeah, my dad does really like trees. That's not where I was going with that, but yeah.
Who else?
Shout out to Jer Bear, the former city forester of Westlake, Ohio. I was going to say like wildlife.
Oh, yeah. Raccoons.
Yeah.
Rocky raccoon.
The little squirrels like to live in them. The raccoons.
Don't you like saying it like
raccoon? Yeah.
So I say raccoon, like raccoon.
Normally.
But the Beatles with Rocky Raccoon, it's Rocky Raccoon. Like, all right, never mind. Go on.
Went into a room only to find Gideon's Bible. Yes. I know the song.
Okay.
I know it very well. Yeah, raccoon. It's fun to say it that way. And all the insects that live and feed on and just depend on trees.
What you eating on? Insect,
right?
I'm just eating on a tree.
I mean, like you can look up the studies. Like Ptolemy is a big one with like the amount of insect species that depend on an oak and a hickory and a walnut and a cherry. Those are, big ones as far as the natives go. So, it's a lot of things you don't always see it, but it's doing great things.
Absolutely. So what we want to talk to you all about today is the do's and don'ts of trees, not just with planting. I mean, it's going to be heavy on planting and pruning and
planting
care
and
for,
maintenance
but-
and tree selection. And
Yeah, so we'll have the do's and don'ts of trees for you.
Yeah.
And like I said, we get a lot of customers that want the best shot at keeping these trees alive. I mean, they're an investment.
Mhm.
Trees anymore aren't cheap necessarily, depending on where you buy them from, I suppose. But good quality trees aren't cheap. And then if you're paying someone to plant them for you, there's an even higher cost. But if you're doing it yourself, hopefully you can learn something from this video. So, yeah. I guess let's just start with planting trees.
Planting trees.
You want to? All right.
Start with planting trees.
Yeah. So the biggest thing that Tim and I harp on when planting trees, you and I harp on, is not too deep, not too shallow. You want that root flare even with the ground.
Yes, that's correct.
Were you going to say something on that?
No, nope.
Okay. And when we talk about root flare, so a lot of times when you purchase a tree, the first thing you're going to want to do is pull that soil away from the top of the tree, whether that's a bottom burlap tree or a container tree, and find the root flare. Don't get confused with the graft union, right? Because a lot of times people see that graft union on the tree and they think, oh, that's the root flare. I'm just going to plant that even with the ground. And a lot of times that graft union, it could be 6 inches above the actual flare.
Right.
You're looking for where the roots flare out of the tree. So,
yeah. So essentially, if we could just boil it down and make it really simple, hope one of these cameras is looking at me here.
Look at this one over here.
But you need that tree. Once it's in the ground, you need to see the base of it. Do this. You don't want this.
Oh yeah.
What do you call that? Telephone pole situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's bad. And why is that bad?
Why is telephone pole situation bad?
Yeah.
Okay. So when a tree's planted too deep and it looks like a telephone pole sticking out of the ground, you get girdling roots. The girdling roots will wrap around the tree and basically just kind of squeeze it off. And I've seen mature maple trees fail. And when I've gone to look at them, it's the failure point was at a girdling root,
You're essentially, if you plant a tree too deep, you're essentially covering up a portion of the tree that's supposed to be above ground.
Yeah.
And certain things are going to happen under there with hormones, and that tree's going to produce weird roots, and it's going to start choking itself with roots. And you don't want that.
No.
And that's one of the huge problems. And we do see it a lot with maples. It is a really common thing with maples. I don't know the science behind it, but
yeah, I mean, I feel like maples just are shallow rooted plants to begin with.
They're real root happy.
They're real root happy for sure.
Yeah.
And
so that's, you don't want to plant them too deep, but you also don't want to plant them too shallow because you need those roots to be underground.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've recently had an instance where I met with a resident where their tree was planted a little too high.
Yeah.
And it was almost like the tree was just set upon the ground. And it's like, no, those roots need to be underground. They need to get where they want to go. So don't plant too high. Don't plant too
deep.
Do plant just right, like baby bear's porridge.
Thank you.
Yeah, with Goldilocks.
I know what you're talking about.
So you want your tree to be baby bear's porridge. Okay. You want it to be just right.
Just right.
Yeah.
So we've dug the hole now, and we've got it at the right depth. But what about width, Tim? How wide do we want this hole to be that this beautiful tree that we just purchased is going to go into?
Well, don't dig a hole that's not wide enough.
That's don't do it, people.
Hot take. No, so do dig a hole that's 2 to 3 times the diameter of that tree's root ball. Like ideally 3 times. Not always possible.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, we plant a high volume of trees sometimes, and if you're telling me I'm going to have to make that hole 3 times the width of,
ain't happening every time.
I'm talking sometimes we got a root ball that's, probably almost 3 feet wide. So I'm not digging a 9 foot wide hole.
No.
But 2 to 3 times. So if you've just got like one tree to plant and it's reasonable to do so, do it. Because one of the big misnomers with trees is that they've all got this big taproot that just goes straight down into the ground. And there's certain plants that are specialized with taproots like that. Like there's a lot of desert plants that'll tap into underground water sources that way. But in general, the trees, at least the trees in our area, their roots spread wide.
Yeah.
You know, they're shallow and they spread really wide.
Yeah.
So where was I going with that?
I don't know. Whole depth or width.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it's important to get all that soil around the tree really loosened up because oftentimes you're planting in a tough area with really compacted soil, and those roots are really going to struggle to find their way laterally through the soil.
Yeah, especially in like newly developed areas, there's a lot of people buying trees that are in these newer housing developments, whether that be trees for the street or just shade trees for the yard. But yeah, like you said, really a nice wide hole to kind of break up that soil. I always recommend having like a wheelbarrow on site there to put the soil into. Makes cleanup a little bit easier, but
or like a tarp.
A tarp, something, yeah. And I also recommend using the native soil that came out of the ground. So even in these new build areas where the soil is just total shit, like hard compacted clay with maybe even some rock and stuff in it. If you don't have hard compacted clay, congratulations, lucky you.
Must be nice.
Where we're at here in central Ohio, it's hard compacted clay. So I try and get some of that clay back into the hole, but amending it, maybe amending it in some composted material with that. And I don't say to only use compost because you want some soil structure there. You don't want these roots to hit this beautiful composted manure-y soil or whatever it is that you use, and these roots have no resistance and they just kind of grow like a weed under the ground through this loose soil, and then they hit that rock solid clay.
Then they get
to
like, the tough stuff and they don't know what to do.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
So having some structure there is good. Also, it's good for stability of the tree, right? Like a newly planted tree, the roots aren't really there holding it in place yet. So,
and a lot of this goes back, and this is a do and don't we're going to probably hit on towards the end, is just choosing the proper tree.
Yeah.
So like if you have really terrible soil on a new build, you're not going to be able to plant a tree that's like super particular about the soil, like that needs like moist, well-drained, loose, sandy soil that's on the acidic side.
Yeah.
You're just not going to have success with a tree like that. So,
yeah, you just need to plant calorie repair.
No, that's not true.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm total joke there, people.
But that's the thing, like, and again, we'll get to this, but there's plenty of trees that can do just fine in that shitty compacted soil. You just got to choose some of the right ones.
Yeah,
but we'll get
for
to
sure.
that.
Yeah, let's get to that later on in the episode. So, yeah, so amending the soil, and we say don't use. Well, we gave the reason why not to use just beautiful, rich, loamy, sandy, organic soil. Just no bueno for the tree.
Right. It's okay to maybe mix in some organic material, but you need to put some of that native soil back in the fill hole.
The fill hole. I like it.
Hole.
Yeah. So cool. So we got the tree all planted up now.
And while we're on that, adding things, don't fertilize a newly planted tree. So I know that goes against probably what a lot of people think. And here's the thing. Don't fertilize. Do add things like beneficial fungi like mycorrhizae or something that will help the roots grow and be healthier. But something that's just like a standard like NPK type fertilizer.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is those fertilizers can burn the roots because you've cut the roots up a little bit planting this tree, and those newly cut roots could really succumb to the shot of fertilizer.
Yeah, so let's back up a step on that. And you talked about cutting up these roots and these. So I think before we drop this tree in the hole, right, and start backfilling with our like 50-50 blend of clay and good rich soil, when we take the tree out of the pot or take the cage and the burlap off of the bottom burlap tree, and we find that root flare, something else to look for at that point is any girdling roots. And I guarantee you, if you're planting a containered tree, 9 times out of 10, there's going to be girdling roots because those roots hit the black pot and then they just start to spin. So you want to make sure and pull those roots out and prune them off. And don't be afraid to prune these roots. And
it's not just really black pots, Matt. If it hits white pots or green pots,
you know what I'm saying.
No matter what color the pot is.
Nursery pot. Sorry.
Okay.
A nursery pot.
Okay.
So let's take care of those girdling roots before it goes in the ground, right? And you may end up with a massive pile of roots off to the side that you've pruned off of it. No big deal. It seems like it's crazy to be cutting all of those roots, but it's better for the tree's health in the long run. I would rather see half of those roots pruned off of that tree and off to the side than to see you put that tree in the ground with a million of these little roots spiraling around in a circle.
They'll continue to grow in a circle, but if you disrupt them a little bit everywhere where you cut them, hormones will say, "Oh, we need to make more roots." And once they realize there's no pot there, those roots will shoot out.
Yeah,
rather than continue to circle.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, you've done this. You've had to pull out a dead tree that was planted, and pull it out.
And it looks like it came right out of the pot.
Yeah, it just came right out, and it's like, no, it's been there for how many? For 2-3 years, and the roots never left that.
They just kept going in circles. So. Yeah. So cool. So we got the roots all taken care of. We got the tree planted. We got the mycorrhizae in there. Maybe when you're backfilling too, one thing that people like to do is stomp on the dirt to get it around the root ball. I'm guilty of it. I've done it before. The proper way to really do it is to water water the soil in. Put some soil in there, maybe work it in with the end of the back end of the shovel, and then water it. And then add more soil and water and really try and use that water to settle that soil down and around the root ball.
And I'm totally okay with a gentle stomp.
Yeah.
I'm okay with just kind of giving it some pressure, but we don't want to compact it and turn it into concrete.
Yeah, we're trying not to compact the soil here. Yeah. So we just disrupted it for a reason, right?
Right.
So yeah, cool. Now once the tree's in the ground, something that people always want to do is mulch a tree, as they should. And what we don't want to do is do a mulch volcano.
No mulch volcanoes.
So make sure you have a nice wide. You don't want this teeny tiny little tree ring, or even you don't want to plant grass seed right up to the trunk, right? So what's going to happen if you plant grass seed right up to the trunk? You're going to nick the tree with mowers, string trimmers, whatever it may be. So give that tree a really nice, big tree ring to keep mowers away from it, to keep string trimmers away from it. And we want this tree ring out there as big as the drip line of the tree. I mean, ideally that would be nice, but
yeah, and even bigger if you want.
Yeah.
And the mulch ring, as the tree grows, should also grow with the tree.
Yeah.
And what Matt said about don't plant grass right up to the tree, that's just one of my pet peeves when I see that in a yard, because people, it's like, what's happened to my tree? It's dying. And you get in there and you pull back the tall grass around it, and you look, and it's just gotten mechanical damage all over it. And trees don't like that. Trees don't like to be smacked in the bark when they're young like that,
especially down around the root zone.
Yeah.
But the other thing too that I was talking about is don't mulch volcanoes. So we've got this big ring cut out now, and we're going to mulch it with a good bark type mulch, or I don't recommend rocks, but you're going to do what you want to do. So you're going to mulch it in.
Don't do rocks.
What we see too often is people pile this stuff up into a volcano, and you spend all of that time exposing the root flare and planting it at ground level for a reason. Let's keep that root flare at ground level.
Right.
Let's not bury it in 6 inches of mulch. Not cool.
Yeah, let's not turn it into a telephone pole again.
Yeah. So think of it like you almost want that mulch to kind of,
Like a
it would be
donut.
like a donut. Exactly. And kind of leaving right around the trunk of the tree, kind of leaving like
A
well for the water to collect into and go down. But what the mulch is going to do, a nice 2-inch layer of mulch is all you need. It's going to help cool the roots. It's going to help retain moisture. It's going to help with weed control. So
yeah, and since there's no grass, those roots aren't competing with grass roots.
Yeah,
Growing in the ground. So, mulch has a ton of there's a ton of benefits to it, but you have to do it properly.
Yeah,
you really do.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. I mean, we can harp every episode on how people mulch, and I feel like it just doesn't get through their head. I still so often see this mulch just piled on and piled on and piled on, and it's like, oh, I got to mulch in the spring to make it look nice, and again in the fall to make it look nice, and repeat every single year, and you're never giving any of your mulch a chance to break down, and now you've created this just barrier that water can't penetrate. So allow that mulch to break down into the soil, let it do what it, one of the things that it's there for, which is to amend the soil. And just, if you feel like you need to mulch every year, pull some of that old mulch off before you put new mulch down.
Exactly. And
so
then
it's not just continuing to build.
And once that tree's a little more mature and established, now you've got this blank canvas for planting a perennial garden around the tree.
A little shade garden. Love it.
A little green mulch, which you can eventually do.
Some carex in there, some sedges all around the base of it.
Anything. Anything.
Yeah.
So, another post planting thing that, so you talked about mulch, staking a tree.
Yeah.
Don't stake your trees unless they need to be staked, first of all. And if you do need to stake your tree, stake it properly and not for more than a year. So there's a lot to unpack there. Here's where I'll start. Rarely do I stake a tree at planting time. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree 100% with you.
And I think we'll get a lot of pushback on that. But I think that if you plant a tree in the ground and it's standing upright on its own and there's not a lot of wiggle in the root ball, and it can make it through some winds, it's going to be fine. The tree will take care of itself. Sometimes I plant a tree and I'm like, I know that tree needs to get staked because it's really loose it's really
little
wobbling.
top heavy or something. Yeah.
Or it's like it's in a really windy area and it was planted and it had a very small root ball, so there's not a lot of weight on the bottom. But I always err on don't stake the tree just because I feel like more bad things can happen if you stake a tree.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be staked. Like you use a material that's not supposed to be tight against the tree bark and it cuts off circulation of the tree.
Yeah. Girdles it essentially.
Yeah. Or you leave the stake apparatus on for too long. And what happens is that tree loses its strength essentially to it needs to learn to kind of sway in the wind, and it builds its strength that way. And if it can't, then you leave that on there for a few years and pull it off, and next thing you know, that tree is it doesn't have strength.
Yeah, so if you ever look at a big mature tree, you see what's called trunk taper, and that is the trunk comes down and tapers out. Like that motion you were showing earlier, it kind of goes down and tapers out. So that trunk taper's developed. It's a reactionary wood that's developed to the movement in the wind. So as that tree's moving, to keep from snapping off at the ground, it continues to build this wood up at the bottom to make this strong base that can withstand these winds, right? So yeah, when you stake a tree for too long, or if you stake a tree really tight, I don't even mind staking a tree that with this stake on it, it's got a little bit of movement,
little bit of play,
it just, as that tree moves in the wind, it's starting to develop. It's not something that you see right away. You know, this happens over years and years and years of this thing blowing in the wind, that this reactionary wood builds up this trunk taper. So, there again, I've seen it. You know, you take a stake off of a tree that's been on there for 10 years and a strong wind comes in and snap right at the base. And it's like, people wonder why.
Yeah.
And it's because you did not give that tree an opportunity to develop any kind of trunk taper.
And there's so many products for staking trees. So make sure you buy products designed for staking trees.
Yeah.
Because if you just go into your garage and say, well, I'll use this strap and this piece of metal, this piece of metal bends real nice, I can bend it right around. That'll just eat right into the bark of the tree. So you need to use something that will stretch as the tree grows. So if you do happen to leave it on a little long, or the tree does grow faster, it slips down, that the tree isn't going to be damaged by this thing cutting off its circulation.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, there's some really great products out there. We use arbor tie and stakes, which is basically just like a nylon webbing type of material that's got, you know, it's got a little bit of give to it. But, you know, there's you could use rope that maybe you have at your house, but when people say, can I just use like this nylon rope that I have at home? Yeah, that's fine. But what I always suggest is cutting like an old piece of garden hose off and running that rope through the garden hose as kind of a support for that. And it kind of takes some of that, cutting friction motion.
Yeah. Displaces
out of
the
it.
friction.
Absolutely. Displaces the friction. You nailed it on that one. So, but another great product too, that I used to use and then I stopped using, and then I started using again more often last year, the Trematos, and they're just like a plastic apparatus that slides over a metal T-post.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of clip in around the tree, and then there's these like elastic rubber bands that wrap around the tree and hook onto the Tremato that hold it in place, but those rubber bands give the tree a little bit of movement. So
they called me Rubber Band Man in 10th grade.
Did they?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
I can never figure it out.
Was that Micah Stats that called you that?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Which I don't want to shift gears here too much, but what is that on your arm?
It's a tattoo.
Did everyone see that?
Yeah.
Did they see that?
Let's not make a deal out of it.
I didn't know if anyone had noticed your tattoo.
I don't know. You keep eyeballing it though.
I know. Well, it's hard not to eyeball.
All right. Moving on with the trees. I don't want this attention on me. Stop it. So
you got a tattoo, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I'm moving on.
Moving on. Okay. So we got the tree staked. Is that it? Are we done?
Well, and we're not leaving it staked for more than a year.
Yeah, more than a year. Yeah.
Trees.
Trees.
Don't.
You know what I say?
What?
Don't plant shitty trees.
Yeah.
Right?
Plant good trees.
Good trees.
Yeah. Don't plant shitty trees. Do plant good trees.
Okay. What would be like, what's a Tim example of a shitty tree that you shouldn't plant?
Well, I'm going to throw out calorie pear. I'm going to throw that out because in this state, it's illegal anyways.
You can't plant them in this state.
You can't sell them. You can't, whatever. So I'll throw that one out. Don't plant a Japanese tree lilac. Okay.
That's a hot take.
Is it?
I don't know. I don't disagree with you, but a lot of people plant them. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's you. I don't disagree with you one bit at all.
I know you don't disagree.
But I hate JTLs. I hate Japanese tree lilac. And I think that there's way better options. I'm just saying some people love them.
All right.
They're not a tree that's causing ecological disasters, right? Like,
all right. If we're talking about a tree that you're planting in your lawn, don't plant a silver maple.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's a great native tree that belongs in the woods.
Yeah, and it's not the 1950s anymore.
Gosh, it sure isn't. My neighborhood. Is your neighborhood the same way?
No, my neighborhood's not from the 50s.
Okay,
but I had two giant silver maples at my old house. Remember that?
You did.
And the one like had been topped so many effing times from the power companies. And I ended up having to have that thing removed, but they're just shit trees, dude.
They grow too fast for their britches.
They're a mess.
And they're weak. They're not a good landscape tree.
Yeah.
Great for the woods.
Yep.
Great for the woods. So
no, but they have done some good things though, crossing silver maples with red maples.
Absolutely.
So you get like,
we call that a Freeman maple.
Yeah. So you get all of the good like characteristics of a red maple, but you get the speedy growth of a silver maple. So,
Sure.
But you know what I would say? Don't plant a black locust.
A black locust?
Like a honey locust. Not like a skyline honey locust, but like,
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
I see where you're going with this.
Where am I going with it?
Well, you're saying don't plant a tree that wants to put you in danger.
That's going to rip your balls off, dude.
Yeah.
Every time we see those things, what do we say?
Things rip your balls off.
Yeah. Because it's got swords growing off the side of it.
Yeah, the honey locusts, dude, the native honey locusts. Now, the landscape version that you get at the garden center, right, will be a thornless variety.
Yeah.
Right? Variety inermis.
Yeah.
But you know, especially if you're like me and you like to get up close and personal and a little fresh with the trees, you know, a little bit of a tree hugger, if you will, like a literal tree hugger. That's not one you want to be hugging on.
What do you want to be hugging on?
You want to be hugging on like a sycamore.
Like a soft and supple tree?
Yeah, with that smooth white and gray bark.
What about like a big mature tulip tree?
Oh, yeah.
You gonna hug on one of those?
I'll hug.
Okay.
I'll hug a lot.
You know, it's rough, but you know what trees I love to hug?
No.
Bur oak.
Oh, yeah.
I love just hugging a big bur oak. Like, hey, buddy, you know? So, or a big white oak.
Yeah.
Swamp white oak.
Yeah, you don't want to get fresh and hug the trees that are going to bite you back.
Yeah.
So that's a big don't.
Yeah. So don't plant those trees.
Yeah.
What else we got for the do's and don'ts of trees? Don't plant invasives, obviously.
Duh.
Like ailanthus, calorie pear, if you're even able to still plant them in your state. What else you got?
Or even like, I mean, I know this is a tree episode, but as far as woodies go, don't quit planting burning bush. Please stop planting barberry. We can do better. Privet.
You know what bums me out is we go to the Ohio Invasive Plant Council like annual meeting thing every year, and they go over like, oh yeah, these are the plants that are invasive and you can't plant here now. And here's the up and coming plants. And it's like, oh shit. Yeah. Oh, really? Like, come on.
I know. And I don't even want to get to that right now because I don't want to be too sad about it, but we'll do some episodes about that. But
okay.
There's some stuff I need to let go of. So.
You like my hat?
I do.
By the way,
I do like your hat. It says what? The machine?
Yeah, dude, it's Darryl Waltrip, man.
Okay.
The old Tide hat.
Is he the boogity guy?
Yeah, dude.
Is he really?
I think
so. Or did I
so.
just make that up?
No, I think I think so. I don't know. My dad's a big DW fan, so
all right.
You told me I needed to wear a different hat every episode. So
you have quite the hat collection. So
yeah,
you could.
I could wear one every episode for the next, I don't know, 3 or 4 years.
Several seasons for
yeah.
sure.
So
yeah.
You
know what? There's a song that you suggested we listen to.
Yeah.
Johnny Montana, Silverfish.
Andrew Montana, Silverfish.
Sing us a little bit of it.
No.
Come on, just give us the vibe of it.
You didn't sing me any of the Avant Gardner.
Well, you didn't ask.
Well, I'm not singing on this podcast.
Can you give me a little, like, can I get the vibes of it a little bit?
Silverfish.
It's not. That's not true.
I'm not singing it. No, just listen. Listen for me, please.
All right. What is it? Like bluegrass?
It's kind of like a folky.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you know how I am.
I know.
Well, I mean, I listen to a lot of jam bands, so I could throw some jam band songs out there, but I mean, nobody wants like a 20-minute version of a song on their playlist, right? Not many people do.
I don't.
I dig it. I love when I can pull out of my driveway in the morning and I don't know, maybe a Fish song's on.
Yeah.
And I can listen to the same song from the time I get in my car in the morning all the way to work.
And I love Fish. I love their studio albums.
Yeah, I love their live stuff.
Yeah. That's
but yeah, I also really dig on the kind of folky bluegrass. Yeah. I mean, some old school hip hop will be in there, some old school. I mean, you know, Incubus is like one of my faves.
I do know that.
Yeah. But anyways, back to trees. Back to trees. So the do's and the don'ts of trees. What else you got for a don't, Timmy?
I would say don't prune your tree limbs like a dummy.
Yeah.
Do practice a good sound 3-cut method.
Yeah.
For your tree branches. And basically there's a lot that goes into pruning. Pruning's an art form. Even if you're not pruning a tree for artistic reasons, you just need to get the branches up higher so your mower fits under it. There's still a lot that goes into where you're making those cuts and how you're making those cuts and how you're taking the weight off the branch as you cut. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't do it properly and you start from the top and you just start cutting down a limb, the bark on the bottom stays attached and just will rip right down the tree.
Yeah.
And you don't want that.
No, you don't.
Because you're just creating this very large wound for no reason.
Yeah.
The other big mistake that's often made is cutting the branches way too close, like flush with the trunk of the tree, or
too long.
Right. Or leaving stubs
nubbing,
that
what
are
we
too
call
long.
nubbing or stubbing a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nubs.
So you want to make your final pruning cut on the limb. If you're taking an entire limb off of a tree, we're not talking about like subordinating cuts and things like that. But if you're taking an entire limb all the way back to the trunk of the tree, you want to leave that branch collar.
The collar needs to stay intact. And you know, if you've gotten into the collar is if you look at the wound you've made, if it's not perfectly round, if it's like starting to be oblong, then you've really gotten into the collar.
Yeah. Or if you've got like a nub on it, you know, all that nub's going to do. So how trees react to pruning is called coated, compartmentalization of decaying trees. So when you make a cut at the...
Can you tell us that again?
Coated.
Coated.
Coated. C-O-D-I-T. Coated. Compartmentalization of decay in trees. And that is the tree's response to your prune. And what it's doing is there's 4 parts to it. We're not going to get into all of that. But basically what the tree's doing is it sends hormones rapidly to the area that causes the bark to begin to grow, callus and roll over. And it does it pretty quick to close that wound off so you don't get decay in there. Well, if you're not flush with that branch collar, if you're not leaving that branch collar, if you're too close to the tree, you're not going to get that. And if you leave a nub, you're not going to get that. What you will get with the nub is if you don't get decay all the way into the tree or disease, you'll just get this dead stick eventually that
it's ugly.
Will probably break off, or you could break off, and then the tree will begin to heal.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you ever look at a proper pruning cut, I always think it looks kind of like a butthole. You know what I mean? As it's like closing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That callus wood, and eventually that, you know, after years,
there's
it'll
a joke.
disappear.
There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it alone. We'll leave it alone this time. Yeah. Pruning a tree. You know, again, there's only so much we can do here talking to you about it, but finding if this is something that's really that you also find interesting, go to a reputable website.
Yeah, like the International Society of Arboriculture.
Right, or a .edu type page, like a university's forestry page or something, and and you'll find so many articles and diagrams on how to properly prune trees.
Yeah. And my suggestion too is on a newly planted tree, start pruning it now. Like young trees will respond to pruning cuts a million times faster than mature trees will. Those mature trees have so much going on with them that they are expending an absolute ton of energy just to stay alive, you know?
Correct. But I will say I try not to do too much pruning at the time of planting, like to give them a season or two, a year of growth. Before I start really getting in there, just because like that tree's already under a lot of stress. So I'm not trying to give it any more.
Yeah. Okay.
So typically at planting, I will just do like broken branches. I won't do anything structural or cosmetic at that point.
I might do a little bit. I may do a little bit, but I don't do a lot.
I know I've seen you.
I don't do a lot, but
I've
I may
seen you,
do
and
a little bit.
I let you do it your way.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you let me do it my way.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. But pruning younger trees, nonetheless, younger trees is the best way to go. So
absolutely
get in the habit of, it may look funny when you do start pruning these things, but if you don't want these lower branches and you know that eventually, like start pruning those off now. And you may end up with a tree where you're like, that thing looks goofy, but as it matures, you know, it's
and making sure some trees are going to want a strong central leader. So making sure you eliminate that codominant stuff. There's an example. It's in my neighborhood. I'm not going to say any neighbors' names or anything, but when we moved in,
that's old Jimmer Crimshaw's place.
Jimmer Crimshaw's.
Yeah, I know.
We moved in about 11 years ago. There was this newly planted oak in the neighborhood, and it had codominant stems about like 5 or 6 feet up. Yeah. And I was like, man, I just want to get in there and cut one of those off.
Did you?
No, I never did. And I never said anything to them because we didn't become like besties or anything. Well, now this oak is like 20, 25 feet tall, and each codominant stem is like this big around, and it's too late. It's too late now. And it's going to be a goofy looking tree, and it's not going to live as long as it should. And it's going to drop a lot more branches than it should. And it's going to be a hazard at some point. And so yeah, the point that Matt was making about pruning trees when they're young is really important, just to get in that habit. And then it's also just a lot easier, you know, when you don't have to get like equipment and ladders out, and it's just some of them you just snip.
Yep.
So
yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So pruning, you know, and when we talk about pruning, you know, maybe it's you're wanting to raise the crown of the tree for mowers, or in our case as public horticulturists, we have multi-use bike paths. So we're having to keep some of the trees along those bike paths, the clearance for pickup trucks or equipment that may need to get in there. So the clearance on those trees may be taller. Same with street trees. They're typically going to be taller. Park trees out in the open, I personally kind of like to let them be themselves. And
yes, you do.
If I have to raise them for a mower, I will, but otherwise I'm trying not to do that. There again, that's the mulching thing. The bigger the mulching, you know, you don't have to do that as much. But also what you're wanting to look for is like water sprouts. You know, those, if you've got a branch coming up this way and you get those sprouts, you know, those limbs that shoot up off of the trunk, and they don't look the same as the other limbs, and they put on like 8 feet of growth in 1 year. Pruning those guys off, and then keeping the crown kind of open a little bit, like thin, to help with airflow through the tree. So you're going to have less issues with you'll have less issues with storm damage if you do that.
Fungal things.
Fungal things.
And again, it's tough because it's a tree to tree basis.
Yeah.
It's species to species, depending on what type of tree it is. It might have a different pruning program that you might have for that. Because there's things like oaks that are very sensitive about when you prune them, right?
Yeah. So with oaks, you have to prune them. I think our window was like 1st of November-ish through probably the end of February, first part of March.
Yeah. You want to prune them when they're dormant.
Yeah.
So
dormant season pruning on the oaks because of oak wilt.
mm-hmm.
And so the carrier for oak wilt is a beetle that is attracted to freshly pruned oaks. So yeah.
But that beetle's not active in the winter.
No.
So
correct.
And that's the science behind that. And there's even we have a grower that won't dig oaks in the spring. They'll only dig oaks in the fall when they're dormant. So
okay. Yeah.
Just things like some species are a little more specialized in what they require. So
yeah, for sure.
Anyway.
Lots of good stuff on trees.
Yeah. Trees are cool.
I love
Hashtag trees are good.
More trees, less assholes.
Yes. Hashtag trees, please.
Trees, please.
Hashtag touch trees.
Hug trees.
Yeah.
Touch trees, hug
Touch 'em.
trees, caress them.
More trees, less assholes.
So, yeah, I don't know. What else? Do you have any other do's and don'ts? I mean, I'm sure we could think of some, but I mean, we don't want to bore people too terribly long with the do's and don'ts, right?
Well, let me just ask you, is there any trees you're in love with right now?
In love with...
Are there any do's, like trees you just want to do? Like, not do's, like not, come on, people. I don't mean like that. I mean like don't and do. Are there any trees you just want to do?
Yeah.
Like what?
So, I'm a sucker for a dogwood.
Mm-hmm.
Always have been.
I knew you were going to say that.
Always have been. And right now is the time of the year for our native dogwoods. Starting to see these things flower, and it's just like, man, this time of the year is always the reminder why I love those trees so much. Our native dogwood, wonderful tree. Coosa dogwood, equally as good, if not better, in my opinion. I know there's going to be some people that are going to be like, oh, it's not native.
Yeah.
But I'm not a non-native hater as long as it's not invasive and
right.
It makes sense to plant. I think that there's probably fewer issues with the Coosa dogwoods than there are the native dogwoods, but disease issues and things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So dogwoods.
I do love, I have that, I've got a really cool picture of it I'll throw on here.
The one you have right out front here?
It's Cornus alternifolia, the pagoda dogwood.
Mm-hmm. What's a
or
cultivar
alternate
called?
leaf dogwood. I don't remember the cultivar. It's variegated.
Shadow, green shadow, blue. Is it a shadow?
Maybe. It's a cultivar of the alternate leaf dogwood. It's like yellow with green margins. Is that right? Yeah, I think it is yellow with green margins. Anyways,
golden shadows.
Golden shadows. Yes. Beautiful tree.
Yeah.
I'm loving it right now. Did you see it when you pulled in?
Yeah.
Okay. It just glows in that area.
It is. It's lovely.
Yeah.
I copied you and planted one at work.
How's yours doing at work?
It's not doing very well because a big branch fell on it during that storm.
That's right.
And it broke it. It broke the thing in two. It just bent her over.
Unfortunately, they don't have any on the availability for this year.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's dead, but it's been set back a number of years.
Well, let's get that sucker
back to
square one. So,
yeah.
Cool, peeps. So, I think that pretty much does it for this episode. Okay. What do you think? Yeah. You good? You feeling good about this? You feel good about talking trees?
I am. I'm feeling a lot like Baby Bear's porridge right now.
I love it.
You?
Yeah.
Just
Baby
right.
Bear's porridge, just right.
Just
man.
right.
Steady Eddie. Steady plus 10.
Yeah.
So
Steady Eddie, jack off today.
That's right. And speaking of plus 10.
Shout out to Jack Eddie.
Jack Eddie. Yeah. So that kind of wraps it up for this episode then, huh?
Okay.
All right. People, we love y'all harder plus 2. And until next week.
We love you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.